Sweet. What's up, people? What's up, internet people? Frankie Robertson here. And I have bronchitis, so that's why I sound super cool. But I decided to make a little video on what it is I've been learning and studying at school. I go to school at Think Tank in Vancouver, British Columbia, Think Tank Training Center. So I'm specializing in lighting and visual effects, and I didn't model this room from scratch, but I actually purchased it off of a site called Evermotion because I'm working on my demo reel and I didn't have time to model everything from scratch. But this is my camera angle that I rendered out in. So this is kind of the room, and I've added kind of stuff around the room. This thing with lighting, if you're getting into lighting or if you're going to school, the challenge that I was facing is that everybody faces is, well, what the hell am I gonna light, because you can't just light like a sphere on a plane because it's fucking boring and nobody wants to see that. So yeah, I got this room, and as I went along, I realized, like, oh shit, like, it looks really boring. It doesn't look like people live here. It just looks like kind of an architectural shot. So I kind of took the books and scattered them everywhere, and the geometry. Oh yeah, the geometry, the UVs are absolute shit, and if I really wanted this to look like amazing, I would UV everything properly, because a lot of the textures when they come from, like, this is built in SketchUp, the UVs are absolute garbage. So let me stop randomly clicking on shit while I'm talking and kind of go around the room, and let me zoom out. You can see what I've done here. So this is my room, and I've kind of blocked off all other light that's coming in. I got this plane out here with an HDR image of the sunset, because I'll show you the. I wanted to do a sunset for the room, and I've got a V-Ray sun and sky here, kind of mimicking where the sun's coming from. If you're getting into lighting and you don't really know, like, what's going on, like, I'm hoping this will give you kind of like a better idea of like technique and what the hell it is you're really doing. So let's go back to my camera view. Sweet. And my render, I'm using V-Ray, and where is it? Yeah. So I'm not going to render right now because my settings are on beauty settings, but I do have Nuke open, so you can see. Here we go. So this is my Nuke session with all my passes, and if you're freaking out right now and you don't know what the fuck's going on, I'm going to explain it to you, so don't worry. Okay, so here's my 1080 beauty pass and everything. This is Nuke. This is a compositing software. So, and this is obviously Maya. And so what you do is, if you're not familiar with V-Ray, or you are, I'm just gonna kind of pop this up. I'm actually gonna open up my V-Ray settings, and I'm gonna slam my settings down to 540, and I'm just gonna make, just so you can kind of get an idea of what the hell is going on here. Don't pay attention to this, because this is gonna confuse the shit out of you. I just want to show you a quick little example. I'm pretty much making the settings so that the render will go faster, so I can show you just an example of the room and how the whole process works from getting from point A to point B, because sometimes that's like really frustrating. It's like, oh, okay, well, I can see this and I can see that, but how the hell did you get from that point? That was something I struggled with in school. So for all you schools out there, make sure you teach the fucking pipeline first, so kids know what the hell they're fucking doing. Excuse my language, but pretty frustrating when you pay a lot of money. Anyway, it's not going to get into it, but sometimes you gotta learn and do things. Okay, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. So I got my camera angle, and so here's my camera angle, and I've told V-Ray, these are the V-Ray settings, I've told V-Ray to render from this camera angle. and here we go. So what it's doing right now is it's building the light cache. You can kind of see down here. So it's building this, and it'll do a couple passes, and you can kind of get a preview of like what the room's gonna look like. So a big tip for lighters is once you're starting your scene, if you got a room, you slam all your settings down so things can go really fast at the beginning, so you can kind of gauge lighting and this and that, look at your textures and whatnot, and kind of see what the hell's going on, see where your rays are coming from, because that's what V-Ray is. It's a ray caster. So yeah, doing a little pre-pass right now. My computer's pretty kick-ass, so I can kind of bounce back. I can render and like make beats if I want. Go on Ableton. Was a producer before I did lighting. So anyways, yeah. I don't want to get off tracks, and I don't want my computer to explode. So let's go back here and see what the hell's going on. Come on, baby. Don't fail me now. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you push your computer to the limit. And does strange things, and then I talk to you in a funny voice to keep you entertained for small moments of time. Okay. Hypershade, go away. V-Ray, okay. So here we are back again. Tag team, back again. So it's rendering the room. And now you can see outside, you can see the HDR image that I've used. And that's one thing I learned, if you're doing a certain time of day, you have to find, an image to use to put outside the window, because most rooms have windows. If your camera angle is not looking from the window, you can get away with not using an HDR. So yeah, it's kind of building it right now, and you'll see as it goes that you'll start to see everything become clear, and you'll see like in the room, judging on where the sun, the angle of the sun is outside the room, like I showed you earlier. That's where your shadows and everything in the room will be. Yeah, this is going to take a little bit longer than I expected, so let's talk about Nuke for a sec while that goes. So, I have to say one more thing, actually, before we pop into Nuke here. So, back in my my settings here, settings, render elements. So, this is rendering this one image, but you tell it to render many different things: the diffuse, the reflection, the refraction. Refraction is a window, you'll be able to see through it. These are all passes that you end up throwing into compositing software, so you can end up throwing them into Photoshop and using blending options and blending them over the images, but the industry standard is Nuke. And I'm by no means a wizard at Nuke or a crazy compositor, but doing basic, A over B stuff is really, kind of essential. So here's, the diffuse pass, and if I unplug it, my computer is the fucking shit because it doesn't crash when I do stuff. All sorts of things are happening. So this is a merge node, and what a merge node does, if you double click on it, this is your properties bin up here. It's like a blending mode, so you can go, plus, overlay, multiply, screen. So if you ever use Photoshop, is kind of familiar. And let me make this a bit bigger. This is your node tree. So this is like my main image that came out. But then I'm like, no, I want to merge my linear, my diffuse, my ambient occlusion. You'll learn about that ambient occlusion and stuff. What ambient occlusion is like in the corners of stuff. Like in the real world, there's always like dirt and like little bits of grime, and ambient occlusion is like really, really dope for putting that into an image. Oh shit! You know what's happening right now? It's fucking updating the session. Okay, I'm gonna close this and stop this render here. Exit. Yeah, so I kind of freestyled this video, and you can see this is half done. I just wanted to show you kind of an idea. What was going on there is that Nuke hooks up to Maya, so like as you're doing, if you're doing your renders, all your passes will update in this tree, which is super cool. So if like you're like, oh shit, this for reflection, is too grainy, I gotta go back and I gotta, up the sub divs, and if you want to make small changes, you can go back to Maya and you can, make those respective changes in the room. Then you can go back to V-Ray and you can re-render the room, which once you get to the end and you're doing your beauty renders, they can take anywhere from an hour to 3-4 hours or whatever. But then the folder that Nuke reads them out of will update, and then it'll update with all your color tweaks and stuff. So like I was saying before, you have all your like reflection filters. You merge it over. Most of them you merge with plus. Ambient occlusion you merge with multiply, and you can choose other ones too. But I usually don't use the mix. I use like a color correct, which gives you like more options. You have like shadows, midtones, highlights, and master, and then you have like gamma, gain, contrast, saturation on each of those. So there's just more control. So excuse me, I sound like a monster because I have bronchitis. So, once you've added all your passes, you get down to the end. This is your grade node. I do this at the end. You can set your white and black point, and that just kind of makes everything look more realistic. I can get like way more detailed into this, but it'll take forever, and I don't know, maybe I'll do like a sequence or something, but I just wanted to like get people familiar with kind of a workflow. And you're probably asking like, well, okay, this is cool, like, but how can this be used like in the industry? Well, you can also go back into Maya and you can create like a like this is a 3D space. Like people could animate like characters like sitting in here, or this could be used like as an architectural thing to show people like, oh, look at our architecture, and they could hire somebody like me. It doesn't have to be like 3D video game stuff, but this is all like how the professionals do it. So like I said, I could record like a camera fly through, which I'm going to do because I'm working on my demo reel, and this is actually a preview of my demo reel. So if anybody's hiring, my link will be in the description. No, actually, yeah, I probably will put it in. But anyways, I don't even know if this is good enough. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I just work my ass off and try and make shit look as good as possible. So yeah, you could do a little camera fly through and kind of bring the scene to life, because Nuke actually is used to make like all the alien movies like District 9 and stuff. It mainly deals with film, and you can like add stuff to film and take stuff away and draw people out. And Nuke is actually a really crazy program. It's super technical, and I kind of steered away from compositing because it's kind of a really steep learning curve, and I don't know, I guess my brain just didn't really click with it. I'm more of like a, I don't know, color guy, renderer guy, I guess is what I fell into. So anyways, hope this was helpful and you're not too confused by all this stuff. Again, this is Maya and V-Ray, and Nuke, and there's the tutorials out there like few and far between. I found I had to pay for a bunch, to really get the technical aspects of like how to get from here to here. It was it's getting easier and easier now, but it's a lot of a lot of troubleshooting and stuff. If you notice, there's a reflection in the TV of the room, which was me zooming up to the TV, spinning the camera around, taking a render of the room from that angle, saving that out, reversing it in Photoshop, and then adding a blend material onto the TV, and then having the base coat be the shader, and then having the reflection, um, the coat material, and then I blended it. So that probably makes no sense to you, but if you're into lighting, you could probably follow what I just said. But like I said, it gets pretty technical. Um, I actually remodeled this because it looked like shit. So little things around the room, like I can do like a bit of like simple modeling and troubleshooting. Anyways, I don't want this to last forever, so I hope it's been helpful. Frankie Robertson signing out. Thank you. Peace.